Hi, I'm Jason Sullivan of Rathbone Group, and this is On Subrogation, your free video resource to assist you with your subrogation and recovery claims. We also have a podcast of the same name hosted by my colleagues Rebecca Wright and Steve Alsip that dives into many of these topics in a little bit more detail. Check it out if you're interested. This video, we're going to cover Special Investigation Unit claims, or fraud claims, SIU for short. These are cases where there's been insurance fraud. The FBI estimates that there are 40 billion, that's billion with a B, fraud claims, and that's just regular casualty insurance, not medical insurance. It's a big problem, and insurance companies often need to take steps to recoup that money back. This video is going to explore some of those issues. So, I don't want to give away any fraud schemes out there, but you can think of what they might be. Individuals fake an accident. Maybe they cause a collision where they're not really hurt and it was intentional, but now they've put in a claim and want to have medical bills paid for. It's possible to submit a false claim. No incident actually happened, but they submit it as though it did happen and ask insurance to pay for those damages. They submit a claim claiming that there was damage to an item that maybe there was no damage at all, or maybe they never even owned the item, or maybe they've already claimed that damage before. I see all kinds of cases where individuals claim that a ring was stolen, and then 3 years later they forgot they submitted that to the insurance company and claimed the exact same ring was stolen again. It's not a small problem, and insurance companies need to be repaid. It's a problem that affects all of us. One of the most interesting things I saw was a rental car scheme, which I'm not going to go into details because I don't want to promote this, but I was astonished at how clever it was, except for the fact that it's against the law. Insurance fraud is a crime. In this video, we're going to cover the civil aspect of it, though. There's a difference in the burden of proof for civil versus criminal. In criminal cases, it's a claim by the state against an individual for committing the crime, in this case, insurance fraud. The civil claim is a claim that a party has caused a harm and they need to repay those monies back. In a criminal case, the burden of proof is a reasonable doubt standard, which is a much higher standard than the preponderance of evidence that applies in civil cases. Another thing to remember is that this is going to be a tort action, and it might be multiple different tort actions. We may have a breach of contract. If an individual submits a claim that was fraudulent or had no basis at all or gives false information, many insurance policies obligate them to return any money they received unjustly. That's going to be a breach of contract claim against the policyholder who submitted the fraudulent claim. We may also have a tort claim, tort being a theft or a conversion, taking the property, the insurance company's money, unlawfully and therefore must be returned. We're going to have most likely different statute of limitations, and a key thing to understand is that when your cause of action accrues may be different. It's not necessarily going to be on the date of the loss that the loss was reported. Rather, it's more likely to be on the date that the payment was made, or even better, at the time that the insurance company reasonably or should have reasonably discovered that the fraud occurred. In many cases, this is much further beyond a 2-year statute or 3-year statute of limitations that would begin to run on the date that the purported loss happened. Another thing to think about is how can you recover the money? If you're going to pursue a case, you want to act quickly. Individuals that take money from insurance companies unlawfully are likely to spend it, and that money is just not going to be sitting around in a bank account that you can find later on. You also want to consider whether or not that jurisdiction would possibly order a restitution order. As I said, many times these can be categorized as both crimes that the state may prosecute and a civil action. An insurance company may be able to ask the state that's pursuing a criminal case to also award, beyond any probation or jail time, a restitution order, an order that the individual must repay the money and make whole those people that he harmed. In this case, it would be the insurance company that paid out on a fraudulent claim. With all of this, and I appreciate the fact that the individuals that submit false claims are also customers of the insurance company. And there is a certain aspect of customer service, and we want the customers to be happy and satisfied with the product. But by committing a fraud, these individuals have harmed not only the insurance company, but society as a whole. And I think it is a great idea when it makes sense for an insurance company to pursue those claims, hold them at fault, and make them responsible for their crimes that they committed. It keeps everyone's insurance premiums down, and it is beneficial for society. So as you get an SIU claim, always begin to consider, how am I going to need to pursue this claim? Does it make sense to pursue? And what framework am I going to be proceeding under? For On Subrogation, I'm Jason Sullivan of Rathbone Group, and that's the long and short of it.